Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats, you know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court, you know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. So, when the Indiana Fever season of 2024 came to the end, we was wondering, how will the Fever go forward in 2025? Well, when the current president stepped down and they brought in Kelly Krauskopf, that was a good sign. That was a sign of saying, hey, we are looking in the right direction, because we don't want to waste the years of Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Now, the unknown was still bringing back Kelsey Mitchell. But when Amber Cox came aboard and her and Kelly sat down with the media and talked, they made it their business to emphasize that they wanted Kelsey back. Then we were still wondering who was going to be the coach. Was Christy Sides was going to still be there or not? Because her and Caitlin Clark didn't get along, they didn't mix, and we already seen it many times on the court. Then when we got word that Stephanie White was available, that she wasn't returning to the Connecticut Sun, boom, that opened the door for us to get a new head coach. And sure as we let Christy Sides go, and we brought in Stephanie White, who was with the franchise before and helped win a championship with them in 2012. So you had all these pieces come together, and the main thing they emphasized on was versatility, defense, veteran leadership. And when the offseason came and free agency came, you best believe that Indiana Fever front office focused on solely what they talked about. They already knew they had the offensive power, but they added more offensive power along with defense at the same time. They wanted a lot of versatility on the floor. They wanted players that has very high IQ. And then they brought in DeWanna Bonner. They brought in Natasha Howard. Then they brought in Sophie Cunningham. Then they brought in Bree Turner. Then they brought in Sydney Colston. Now, the Fever wasn't done, because now we was looking at the draft and wondering what was it going to be like for the draft. And now the draft came and gone. I looked at everything from the beginning to the end. And pretty much I could say that the Indiana Fever front office did exactly what they said he was going to do. They have not missed a step. They haven't been over aggressive. They filled the needs that they wanted to do. And Amber Cox and Stephanie White took to the media last night to emphasize what it means to draft the players that they had drafted yesterday at 19, 20, and 33. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play that clip. Now, it's about 6 minutes long, so I hope y'all could be patient and listen through it.
Obviously picking in the second and third round, 19, 20, and 33, you have to be prepared for multiple scenarios. Michaela Timpson is someone that we had really high on our draft board, so when she fell to us at 19, thrilled. The only player to average, double in points, rebounds, and then 3 blocks a game. Incredible wingspan at 6'10", a defensive just powerhouse. Had an incredible year this year at Florida State. Can get out and rim run. Has a nice little jumper from 10 to 12 feet. So again, just really thrilled that she fell to us. And then at 20 with Bree Hall, an elite defender on the perimeter, does a lot of things really, really well. Obviously, South Carolina is a team that is packed with All-Americans. So she played that defensive role every night. She guarded the best player on the other team. But, when she had the opportunity to take three-pointers, she was very efficient in that role as well. So brings a diverse skill set. Again, very long defensively, can get out and guard multiple positions on the perimeter. So really excited about 19 and 20. And then at 33, picking up Yvonne out of Gonzaga, really versatile post player, great face-up game, really good at sort of the 3-4 spot, and brings just a different look in that post when you're thinking about somebody who can play back to the basket, really high motor, defends really, really well. So again, name of the game here tonight is continue to shore up our defense, continue to bring in more versatility, and add more weapons to this potent offense.
Defense, the theme of the picks today, just how do these players fit into that sort of style that the Fever are looking to play this year?
Yeah, again, I think, when you look at the up-tempo style that we want to play, obviously offensively, these are players that can get out and run on the break with us, but defensively can really get up and guard. And, you look at Timpson and her production in the post, again, with her wingspan, her ability to block shots, just her presence alone creates, a challenge for anybody that we're facing. And then Bree, again, toughest assignment every single night. You saw it all season long for South Carolina, her picking up some of the best players in the country and doing a tremendous job in that role. So this is a player that excels when you challenge her to take on the best player every single night. Again, willing to guard just about any position, but has a great offensive skill set too. We're looking forward to seeing that continue to flourish as well.
Obviously a new situation, new team for you, but quite a different situation for the team over the last 2 years in sort of draft status and where we are, but a lot of work done in the off season. Just how was that look coming into draft night, knowing that the team's actually done a lot of work pre-drafts and the competition that will be in the roster?
Yeah, again, I think when you're picking at 19, 20, and 33, anytime in the second, third round, you're really looking at best available, and you're looking, where you have opportunities to either, find a young, talented player that can come in and grow and learn. We were able to add so much veteran experience this offseason. So this is an opportunity for a young player to come in, be a sponge, right? When you've got players like Dewana Bonner and Natasha Howard and Kelsey Mitchell, who's been here for so long, they're going to provide a lot of guidance. And I think for any player coming in here, not only, having a tremendous coaching staff, but our great veteran group of players that are ready to, help the young players come in to play a role for us, whatever that role is, whatever we need. So again, try to shore up a lot during free agency when it came to experience, but when we got to tonight, really thinking about best available and looking for, again, that defensive versatility.
How are you feeling after the draft?
Good, excited. Thinking that we get an opportunity to continue to build depth, to get a look at a lot of different players, and certainly young players who can impact our team, not just now, but for years to come, and get an opportunity to learn, to grow, to play behind some of these veterans and understand what it means to be a pro.
A lot of defense tonight that fits your style.
Yeah.
What was it about the players on defensive end that you saw?
I think the most important thing for us is defensive versatility. Now, we know we have a lot of weapons on the offensive end of the floor, but on those nights when we're not making shots or when things are a little bit more difficult, we've got to be able to get stops, and we've got to get better in that area, no doubt about it. So having players who can fill those gaps, having players who can give us different looks on the defensive end, rim protector, certainly, in KK, the length, the athleticism, the versatility. When you think about Bree Hall and Yvonne Ejim, it's something that we've needed, and we need to continue to get better.
You have maybe a little advantage. You get to see some of these players a lot through, your broadcasting job. But, how does that help you in the scouting process?
I think the most important thing, when you're scouting and evaluating players is really starting to look behind the curtain. It's easy to fall in love with numbers and fall in love with what you see on a game basis, but seeing behind the curtain a little bit and making sure that you understand what kind of practice habits do they have, how coachable are they, are they willing to be pushed, are they willing to play different roles, what has their development been like. And I think that's one of the most important things, seeing where they were as young players, every year continuing to add to their game, every year continuing to be challenged to grow, because that's what it's going to take to be successful and stick in this league.
less than a week till training camp starts. Just how excited are you to be back coaching officially? On the court?
Really excited. I mean, just being in the gym with our players that we have in market, certainly, and the excitement that's surrounding the draft, and coaches, staff meetings, and all of those things. The opportunity for us to put this team together. Amber and Kelly have done an outstanding job of getting the pieces in place, and now, from a coaching staff, it's our turn to put them on the floor and to build our rotations, to build our confidence on both ends of the floor, to find the right combinations. So I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, guys. So you got to listen to Amber Cox and Stephanie White talking about each player that they drafted and what they bring to the Indiana Fever and what they was looking for. And a lot of us was wondering about scoring, bench scoring, guard play. But you have to think about it. These two people, Bree Hall, Yvonne Ellen, and Makala Tipson, they all defensive minded, but they also can score as well. But you don't need them to be a complete scoring threat. You need them to be the defensive stopper, because their points is going to come regardless, either in transition or on easy buckets and stuff like that. But the main thing that the Indiana Fever focused on and emphasized on was mainly defense, athletic ability, rim running, and getting multiple stops. Because like Stephanie White said, they have the offense. Because you got Natasha Howard, you got Kaden Clark, Leah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and you got DeWanna Bonner, who all could score. Then you got snipers off the bench with Lexi Hall and Sophie Cunningham. And then you add Bree Hall or Michaela there, help stretching out there. Because all you need off your bench really to score is about at least 20, 15 to 20 points or more. So, but you're going to make all of that, because the thing about it is, last year, the depth on the bench wasn't good because they didn't have nobody to come in. Injuries was taking place with Tammy Fan Belling. And then Katie Lou checked out. She wasn't right. Then Alyssa Smith, she didn't play well. She had an up and down year. And then she eventually got benched. And then we had to rely on Damaris Johnson, who wasn't still, her speed wasn't up yet because she was coming off injury. Then Lexi Hall had a great hot start in the second half, but then ended up cooling off down the stretch. So you didn't have nobody to rely on. Now the Indiana Fever have a trio of people they could rely on to come in and do different things, and they would be able to use different combinations along the way. So I say this to say that is that the Indiana Fever the Indiana Fever front office nailed it. I give them an A+ for it, because they went out and did exactly what they said he was going to do and help this team bring in leadership. Now they're bringing youth behind them, because they're going to mix and match and find the best combination that's going to help this team spearhead into winning a championship and beyond. So great insight from Amber and Stephanie White. So, and that's one thing I want to touch on too, because the lady did interview Stephanie White and said that she had a chance to look at these players close up because she was broadcasting some of these games. Especially when you're a new coach coming in, you have the ultimate recruiting tool, because you are broadcasting games. You get to see these players close up. Who's going to fit your system? Can these players fall to where you want to? And then the Fever did not panic. They waited. They really was high on Michaela, and they hoped that if she would have fallen to them. And when she did fall to them, and they went and picked her. So they didn't have a package to trade to move up or give up Ray picks for next year. So, but anyway, that's my time. So tell me what you think about what Amber Cox had to say, because I think I enjoyed it really good. And now, like they say, training camp is less than a week away. It's time to get going. All right. So to the next episode, always to the next episode. I'm Livewire Sports Media, and I'm out. Peace.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats, you know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court, you know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.